I respect you, but I don't know. I wanna buy some French players.
I respect you, but
That'll be the title of the episode. I respect you, but I want to get some French merchandise on my team.
That's like...
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Don't Talk If You Don't Know, EMEA Episode 2. Luckily for me, I'm with many knowers here for the guest for today's episode. Alanzq, of course, our usual co-host, Kevin Parker, who popped off at Vegas, and Noel, who also popped off at Vegas. I have both, I think, the two best EMEA players at Vegas here with me today for Episode 2. Alan, you're our co-host. How have you been doing this last week? How has TFT been for you?
Hey, I've been doing amazing. Very looking forward for the next episode. And man, the next GSC I'll get to finally compete. So definitely better than the last time.
Don't get too excited. We'll see how it goes. Let's have some calm expectations for now. Kevin, how you been? Obviously, since Vegas, you had a huge breakout moment, at least for the international scene. In EMEA, we've known what you've been doing for a long time. How has all of post-Vegas and all of Set 10 been for you?
I mean, Set 10 is great. I did okay in GSC 1 as well. I got day 3. It didn't do that well on day 3. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like the new patch as well, actually. And I mean, I even thought the one before was okay because I like AD patches. I'm just comfortable with AD. So yeah, I've been doing good.
And you have a new team, High Rollers. A lot to talk about. We'll go more in depth on your story a bit later on. Noel, how have you been? You were obviously a beast in Set 7. That's when I first knew your name. I think everyone in EMEA. You came back in Vegas after a bit of a break competitively, and then showed that I think you still have the skill to be among the best in EMEA. So really happy to have you here today, and really happy to hear more about just your journey, because I think you have one of the most unique stories compared to most other competitors.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm quite happy that I made day 3 GSC 1 as well. And I feel like this set is quite unique because I also won the TRC tournament. So I'm hoping to make it to day 3 GSC 2 as well, and to make it to regionals. That's my goal.
Now, going a bit more in depth with the intro, especially for you two, Kevin Parker and Noel, because I think Alan, most people that watch me and that watch my stuff should know Alan. I think we're quite linked with our content, especially with TFT now. But with you, Noel, you had a really great set in Set 7 in Dragonlands. You really popped off. You were kind of the Hungarian of the sets, let's say, that you kind of followed that trend that Saudi had in Set 6. And then a lot of things happened in real life for you. You got married. You're a lawyer that, was a practicing lawyer and everything. How has the journey after Set 7 been? How have you been balancing real life with TFT? What is your kind of big picture commitment to TFT right now?
Yeah, it was kind of hard because after Set 7 Worlds, I was, hoping to keep playing on the same level that I was playing. But at the same time, it was kind of hard juggling real life and competitive TFT as well. So yeah, after a few sets, I'm trying to come back stronger and just stay on the same level and make it to Worlds once again.
Yeah, after a really good start. Alan, were you watching back in Set 7? Did you know Noel at all until like
no?
Vegas
I like pretty much I was watched until Set 9. I know nothing. Like in TFT, I'm between a Set 2, Set 3.5, then it exists to up until Set 9 for me.
Okay. So now you're gonna get filled in on a lot of details,
yes,
because Noel was a beast in Set 7, and then he just vanished for a bit, and now he came back and like, oh, Noel's still here and popping off and still very skilled. Kevin, you've been around for a long time. I think Alan should know you from even way back before he was committing as hard in Set 9. You've always been considered more of a ladder warrior than a tournament warrior. Maybe that's changing with Vegas, obviously. Mm-hmm. Where do you think you are right now in your TFT journey? A lot of people just see you still now as an up-and-comer, despite all your success in the past, because it seems like you have just a lot more potential to continue improving so much. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like I might just be at the start of my journey even. I haven't won a tournament yet. I mean, I went second at Vegas, but I haven't won anything yet. I didn't go to Worlds. So, I mean, I'm definitely not done here.
That's good to hear. That's the positive, optimistic approach I think that you should be taking, especially after Vegas. I think Vegas, not just from the skill perspective, but the way you popped off, the way kind of all the storylines came together in that Game 4. I think Noel will be forgetting your name for a long time. So really great to see. Intro out of the way. I think now we're all on board with who everyone knows, at least people that are watching from NA especially. Talking about the news and updates that we've had in EMEA. There's a lot to talk about. We didn't do a GSC review episode like NA usually does, so we didn't talk about GSC at all. We didn't talk about the who won. We didn't talk about who was in the top 16. So let's just very quickly look at that top 16. This is before the final game. So obviously, Petit was the winner, but I wanted to include this list because it just had more players overall. Starting with you, Alan. Did you watch GSC? Did you watch the day 3?
Oh, I did.
Any players that really jump out at you that really you thought performed at a high level, or that you kind of surprised to see here in this top 16?
I mean, not as surprised, but I was most impressed by Skipa Osaka Forestman. He was playing like a beast. He played so many cool comps and made it to top 3 nicely. On a complete opposite spectrum, we have the Zara, the Disco Man himself. We'll see if the Disco will be good enough for him this time.
I know, Alan, you were blaming people for having disco disease, but still Zoro did pretty good the entire tournament. Kevin, you were laughing at the Scipeus mention. Anything to talk about there?
No, I was just laughing about the forest, man.
Do you want to explain what the meaning of this is?
The whole meme that the homeless he just lives with his backpack, all good. He's coming to land as long as he has just a place to drop down his backpack.
We'll talk about the Leipzig land later. Maybe it'll be a good fit for Scipeus' lifestyle. Kevin, any names that jumped out to you from this list here? Biggest surprise for me: no German players whatsoever in this top 16. Is that a surprise for you?
Yeah, kind of. Honestly, I would have expected some of them to be able to make it at least, but yeah, we definitely didn't perform up to our expectations. I would say I could have definitely seen Salvi or Wetjungler in there.
Okay, I'm gonna throw in. I'm not surprised at all. Go on, Noel. Sorry.
Okay, Alan, the one time there's actually 2 Polish players in the top 8, you're talking shit. And then every other GSC, when there's 17 German players in the final day.
We are not talking about other GSCs. We are talking about this one.
We'll see this weekend. We're starting to get the trash talk going. I like it. Noel, no Hungarians, but I think Hungary is obviously a smaller country. Can't really fight with the Titans in the EMEA scene. Any names that jumped out to you? I know there's a few newcomers in this list that maybe players like didn't have any eyes on, like Marwan, for example, from Morocco. The comeback of Safo, for example, was an OQ warrior, but not really GSC warrior. He did really well. Any names that jump out?
Personally, I'm glad that Kezman is doing good in tournaments. So it's nice to see that he's top 16.
It's funny because we had kind of a Casper synergy with Wild Rumble, especially as it started. We were always kind of the same, about to get eliminated at the same time. So we're talking a lot. And yeah, really happy to see him doing so well. And a few other non-players, let's say, that we'll talk about later in the power rankings who also have been popping off this set. But it's always really good to see players that don't full-time dedicate themselves to competing, that can still show every now and then that, hey, they have what it takes to still fight among the best. Next topic of conversation, of course, is going to be the Scrimvitational. It's a big thing that's happening this week. Obviously, I was the one behind it, so I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much, but I think it's an idea that we've been talking with a few German players, like Sasa, for example, a few others for a long time, where I think EMEA needed some kind of person to be kind of a dad figure and do all the boring administrative organizational stuff to make sure that at the region, players have a chance to improve and get better and all that kind of stuff. So that was my idea. The event, for anyone that has not been keeping up on Twitter, is essentially a scrim tournament. It goes from Monday to Thursday prior to GSC, which is happening this weekend. So it's still running now. There's still players that are not watching this podcast that are instead jamming games on the server. And essentially you have 10 games to play. But Alan, do you want to go over the formats and just overall how it worked for you as a player?
Yeah, should have shut down for the podcast duration. So they
believe me, that was my initial idea on Monday, but I don't want to be mean.
I mean, like the whole organization was awesome. You just hop in on the Discord when you go through to set up your nick, you get in through the form, and you just hop on the Discord, hop on the TR, and play the games. It's been amazing. Very little downtime. The duration between the games is shorter than the queue itself, and the game's quality is higher. So like there is like a side of not gaining LP, where there are still prizes. So you have stuff to play for, even if you don't play for practice itself. It's just win-win. There is no downsides to playing there. Just perfection.
And that was the main idea. There have been scrim initiatives in the past, mostly run by the French community and some of the French players. But from what I've heard, they're not very consistent when they run them. And when they do run them, no flame, but they're maybe a bit elitist in terms of who they accept and who they want to scrim with and stuff like this, which is not great for, I think, the rest of the region and kind of like the newcomers or players that haven't yet proven themselves to that level to improve with everyone else. So that was the main idea here. keep it as transparent as possible, as long as the quality doesn't dip. So always having just GSC qualified players or players that are proving themselves on ladder. And as you mentioned, Alan, there are prizes. Thank you to Riot Max, who's in charge of all head of esports for EMEA. He's a beast. We got to bond a lot during our drive from LA to Vegas in the middle of the night. And so he reached out to Alan and me and told us, hey, we have these passes for the Cactus GG LAN. It'll be happening in set 11 in Leipzig. How can you give these out to players? Try and think of a format, and this is what I came up with. And I think it solves a lot of different problems we had in the EMEA. So hopefully it's been a success. Noel, have you had a good experience overall with the scrims, you would say?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, my scores are not that great so far, but it's definitely good practice. So way better than ranked. You don't lose like 100 LP in Master Lopez. So there is a lot of upside. But yeah, there is still 2 days, so I'm trying to play as many games as I possibly can.
You better not be playing while we're doing the podcast. If I don't,
I'm rolling now for Seraphim chosen. Hold.
If you guys see anything in Noel's like eye or posture, let me know. You can rat him out. Kevin, for you, any feedback you want to give? Any negatives about the Scrimvitational? Anything you think can be improved upon for the next edition? That I will be trying to host these before every tournament. It is a lot more work than I thought, but I will try and make that promise. Maybe with a few less fancy stuff, but at least the bare bones stuff will work out. But any feedback for the next one, Kevin?
I mean, I don't have any negative feedback. It will just all be positive, really. It's, I mean,
this is we practice.
Just the fact alone that we were able to play the patch with good players before the patch is out, makes it a lot less stressful as a player to prepare for the patch, because otherwise we would only have like 2.5 days, which is obviously not a long time to prepare for a patch for such an important tournament. So yeah, just like I played like 10 games yesterday, and that definitely helped.
I'm gonna give a shout out, or maybe I don't know if it's a good shout out or a bad one, but there's a few players who have been playing maybe a degenerate amount of games since the Scrimvitational started, and 2 of those played off the top of my head. TST Arzu, one of the meta players, and Sbroyson. They've both played over 30 games, over 30 scrim matches. So I think the queues must be pretty fluid for that to be a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And there are the prizes, the way they work. You play 10 games minimum, and out of those 10 games, the best 6 results count for your AVP, and those count for prizes. Right now, I think players like Zulanash and Chuso and a few others, and Coco as well, are doing really well. So they'll be winning one of these competitor passes that are worth 175 euros each. So actually pretty decent if you're planning on going anyway, or if you have a friend you want to sell a ticket to, it'll be fine as well. It'll be happening April 5th to 7th in Leipzig in Germany. Kevin, I assume you're going for sure?
Yes, I have a ticket. I'm definitely going.
Noel?
I don't think so. Not this time, probably.
And are you close? Is the AVP good enough?
Oh, no. I'm probably like the last person in the score sheet. So
okay, that's just good practice then. You're testing.
Maybe I will. Buy someone
we're
else.
holding hands right there, homie. I've been testing a lot.
Alan was alone, and Noel said, "I got you, bro. Don't worry." But it's a really cool LAN. It's gonna kind of be like the early 2000s, like massive warehouse LANs where it's not just TFT. It's not like an official circuit. It's not like this professional looking thing. It'll be just huge rows of tables. People just bring their PCs and they play any kind of games they want, with this TFT being something that will be available to be played, and there'll be a tournament people run. And the winner of this tournament gets a direct qualification to the finals of set 11. So actually a lot at stake, and a pretty big prize pool, $30,000 or euros rather. Not too bad at all. So if anyone is a competitor, hasn't heard about this yet, go to TFT Esports EMEA, the official Twitter account for EMEA, scroll down and you'll find information. Or if not, on the Rising Legends website, I think there should be something there as well. But we can move on to patch 14.3, which is the patch that we've been playing since Monday, thanks to the PBE cycle on Tournament Realm. And you guys have all been playing games. I've been adding scores to spreadsheets and doing stats 24 hours a day. But for you guys that have been playing, Alan, starting with you, biggest changes, biggest things that jump to mind from these huge scrim games you played?
I'm broke every game. If I don't have car still, I can't go, unless I'm on some fat streak, I can't go 8 on 4-2. Like, cranks are extremely broke for me. Like, on average, I'm getting 3 to sometimes if I roll 6 gold from cracks. It's being rough. Like, I find myself more into the rerolls now than going into 8 without hard steel, because This is not it. Like if you have no HP and you try to push 8 and you don't hit roll down, it's over. You're just going A.
Would you say it makes Heartsteel even more important, kind of like with the streak changes, where all of a sudden Heartsteel, became even more relevant in stage 2 and 3?
Streak changes weren't as bad because Krugs were more full, but they did something. Unless I just had a really bad variance with the Krugs. But like after I was scouting, everyone were poor when I was poor. But the other people had like some sort of either streak or they had the Heartsteel and they were get courageous. I didn't. Therefore, I was just poor. Before, like my Krugs could give me up to between 6 to 12 gold. Now, if I get 6, I feel lucky.
Kevin, do you agree that's the most important change of the patch? Are there any trait changes or anything else you want to mention that you think is a good change that you're happy to see as a competitor in terms of variability for this weekend?
I'm definitely happy they buffed Caitlyn, first of all, because Caitlyn was kind of unclickable last patch, almost. Or, I mean, not unclickable, but, she wasn't very satisfying. And yeah, I do agree that you feel a lot broker. Also, like, I think Caitlyn plus Ezreal duo carry might be better now again than Ezreal Zed. I mean, you might want to be able to flex between the two, like make flexible items for Zed and Caitlyn if that's possible, even though Zed wants healing and Caitlyn usually doesn't. But yeah.
Are you fitting 8-bit back on the board for Caitlyn?
Just Garen. Yeah.
Noel, are you a Heartsteel enjoyer? Is there something else you've been? Are you a Disco enjoyer? Maybe like Zoro? Are you happy to see Disco back to some extent?
Well, I usually play AD Flex, so Ezreal. But now at least I can play Caitlyn as well. So I tried Caitlyn and she definitely feels better even without Shojin, or you don't need Shojin at all. So yeah, I agree with Kevin that Caitlyn Ezreal duo carry might be better than Ezreal Zed, but it probably depends on the items. But other than that, I haven't really felt that much difference. Maybe like Riven reroll is kind of good, like a lot better than last patch. But yeah, that's for me.
What do you think is the reason behind Riven? Just Caitlyn?
I'm not sure. Maybe
people are broke and they don't get to roll on that Ahri. There are no more there are not that many Ahri boards that just shut you down. It's just easier to play the game.
Yeah, probably. Also, like maybe like it's the early stage of the patch and people haven't really figured out stuff. So reroll comps are definitely stronger this time than like standard forecast comps. But we'll see.
I think despite being scrims, I was compiling the stats obviously every day, so I got to see all the constantly seeing the different screenshots and everything. The disco stats I think are a little bit fake because so many times I saw lobbies with no disco players, and then every time someone played disco, it was 2 players holding hands, maybe 4th and 5th or 6th and 7th, where it seemed like it was always contested when someone was playing it. So I think, do you guys think it'll be viable once again for this GSC? Maybe not obviously optimal to play, but is it you have a disco opener stage 2 and 3? Is it okay to stay on disco for stage 4 and actually try in top 4?
You rely on Ziggs, Illaoi, Zac 2, perhaps it's not Illaoi. Lulu 2 is very good in the comp and often better than Sona even. I think swapping to Sona is a mistake usually. I think it's okay. You need Gunblade.
I think you have to, like, it's really, really important that you full streak early game because the comp has such a high cap, but usually it's hard to get there because like starting stage 5, it kind of falls off when the Heartsteel players get strong, and then it gets kind of difficult. So you definitely need like some HP reserves
you need combat arguments
to make it work, and that as well. Yeah.
Econ arguments. You need 3 combat items plus items plus combat or just pure combat.
Not looking good for disco.
Like so many items.
You need everything to make it
exactly the list of like you need is just going, and then you need this, and then you need this as well. Got it. So you need augments, items, positioning. Okay, this is a long list. Yeah. Looking at the stats here for this is day 1 and 2 of the Scrimvitational. Just for anyone reading, I did separate pentakill superfan and vertical pentakill. It's still 7 pentakill with just when you go 9 and then obviously add in Kayn and different units over Nico. So there is some reading of the stats that I think pentakill is not as bad as it looks in this case because I didn't have both together. But overall, anything that jumps out for any of you when it comes to the numbers here?
This Heartsteel looks pretty good.
And pretty contested. I was going through the screenshots. I could not believe some lobbies. Literally 5 players with Ezreal as their main carry. I'm like, okay, if the stats say so, I'll input. But
I think you guys, like, how many of you prioritize slamming Ezreal items for the comp, and how many of you prioritize Z items?
I mean, I definitely prioritize Ezreal items, like, because like the problem with Z items, you can't really make them early game because you're gonna be weak. But like you can slam red buff, i.e., like maybe not blue buff, but yeah, you cannot slam Edge of Night and be like it's harder. Maybe a few headliners can hold it, but like I think it's definitely harder. And maybe you are not that flex because if you slam Ezreal items, you can play Caitlyn maybe. Like
The
other
thing
stuff.
about the Z items, there is a lot of chosens that can hold it, like Viego, Z, and I found myself like playing, whenever I hit the Z chosen, I'm just stable until 5. I had a game where I had just some random Zeeks with Rage Blade, Gamblers, like and something else, and Z with like also random items, and I just was stable throughout until mid the stage 5 because of the Z just doing 12k damage per fight.
Yeah, but like if you don't have Ezreal items, like Zed is not gonna solo carry. But like the
Yeah,
other
that's my
way,
point. You just,
yeah.
like I had no Ezreal, I just didn't hit.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
were 9 Ezreals taken on 4-2. I rolled, there was 1 Ezreal left in the pool. Like,
I mean, that's a classic. That's a classic.
Do you guys think GSC will see Heartsteel, AD Flex played as much as we're seeing here in scrims? Do you think it's still some leftovers of, oh, everyone was playing it last patch, everyone's very comfortable on it, you know, you maybe subconsciously default to it when you have like a minimal route to take to play this comp, or do you guys think it'll even out a bit more for GSC?
No, it's definitely gonna be like super popular in GSC, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it might not be as much as in these Scrimvitational, because, you know, if a comp is that contested, you risk a lot playing it.
Exactly.
Like you might just go 8th if you miss both your carries and you just have them 1-star and then you just die, which is not that uncommon. So it's definitely gonna be risky if you don't hit like Heartsteel early game, or, you know, have like a cracked opener, you know. Yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I mean, it's probably gonna win most of the lobbies still. That's
I think
The
players.
issue, sorry,
Yeah,
Panda. The issue I found myself when trying to play the Heartsteel, if you don't have the Heartsteel at stage 2, at least stage 3, and at least get 1 red juice, you just don't have a goal to forto it. And if you're gonna not forto it, you might as well not go for them. But like there won't be units. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like you have to angle it either from like some Giga Econ spot or win streak spot, or from the Heartsteel spot. If you don't meet one of those conditions, like, you should just force yourself out of the line. Otherwise, you are going cave. Like, I analyzed my games, and that was exactly the case every game where I tried to play Heartsteel without Heartsteel, and I tried to roll for it on 8. I just couldn't find Zeta or Ezreal. Like, it's over. And Caitlyn with blue buff is not really that amazing. So
yeah.
Do you guys think with the changed economy and the fact that some comps that are performing well when it comes to forecast are so contested, we will be seeing a lot more players trying to, when they have outs for reroll lines, play reroll? We also got center reroll as a new option. There was already a ton of, I think, maybe one of the best reroll paths we've seen in a long, long time when it comes to how many different viable carries there are. It seems like almost every single 2 and 3 cost can be rerolled to some extent with you know, super fans, especially with 2 costs. Have you guys been playing any rerolls in the scrims? What are your general feelings on reroll?
Seraphine. I was gonna say Seraphine. Like, I think Seraphine.
I like the number.
Yeah, Seraphine is probably the strongest reroll comp right now, I would say. Or, I mean, it's one of the most consistent ones for sure. I think with Lulu, if you hit hologram, Lulu might be the best. I think hologram blue is really good.
Really good. Riven 4.2, Lulu 4.2, Seraphine.
Yeah, Riven is also good.
Punk is popping off. Yone, decent, but probably very contested by Heartsteel, so understandable it's not doing as well. Senna 4.11. It was already, I've heard rumors that, you know, it was okay last patch, but with the damage buff, even better now. Annie 3.8 with 16 game, which is not too low, but the sample size. Noel, have you been playing reroll?
Not that much, but like I'm you know, thinking about whether Lux reroll is gonna be good. I mean, the stats say she's not that good, but she got buffed, so maybe we'll see a few Lux rerolls or EDM comps. But yeah, I mean, executioners are still like insanely good, especially if you hit Twin Terror. But I've seen it without that as well, because there are a few other augments that can cap with it. So yeah, definitely gonna be a reroll patch.
I think Lux is really good. It's just that people haven't really caught on to how to play it yet. But like it's kind of harder. It's kind of harder to play than other reroll comps, I would say.
I already studied the lines there. So basically, you want to play Lux reroll. She shares the items with TF only. The problem and kept a bit of with Cartus, but usually you are angling TF if you're having those items. Like she needs Gunblade, that's priority, and she needs some fat AP scaling, Death Cap, Archangel, whatever, just scale more damage. But she doesn't want mana generation, which are the most powerful items at stage 2, stage 3, because they make, like, you just cast way more often, right? And you don't care about their strength, but more often the frequency of the casts. And that's why the Lux is less appealing, because the items you need to snub for it are just less appealing overall to be flex. However, in terms of playing Senna reroll, playing Seraphine reroll, playing Ari, like playing Lulu, what fuses all those comps? They use the same items. Nashor is giga good for all of them. Plus, you just make Shojin or blue buff a bit less for us, like Senna and the Seraphine, but Shojin plus Nashor slams feel very, very good. And even you can angle Cartus if you are having a good rolls, like you find the random Morde chosen here and there. So like Shojin, Nashor, or overall Nashor slam feels the best for me right now, and just angle towards here and avoid playing Heartsteel unless Heartsteel opener. And it feels the most reliable way to just get the higher average placement.
Are you done recording your YouTube intro, Alan? Okay.
Like
He's doing, he didn't have time tonight to record it, so he just says, I'm gonna slip it into the podcast. I'm sure no one will notice that I just go on
was that freestyle or like...
No. I studied today this.
He has a
like
color prompter, Kevin. You haven't seen his setup. He used to work as a weatherman, so he's trying to use the technology to good use in his TFT career. I agree with you, Alan. I think that was a good explanation. Sorry for me.
That's all good.
Any other reroll you guys want to talk about? Any other comps that are maybe not? There was a few weird rerolls, like Gragas reroll, but I think that was just players that found some natural copies and decided to test. I know Ging played an Ari board, but it had a Lilia 3, so I said, fuck it, Lilia reroll, and it's in the stats with a 3.0 average.
What do you guys think about Olaf reroll? Because the stats say it's doing good. I mean, it's only 7 games, but Olaf got nerfed a bit, but still doing pretty nice.
I think the one cost reroll comps are like basically just the way they were before the last patch. It's like you basically have to natural the unit, or not have to roll a lot of gold to hit it, and then be able to cap higher with like other carries, because the one cost itself is not gonna carry by itself for the entire game. Even though Olaf can carry by himself for quite a while, I guess, but later to get a high placement, you need like a higher cap. So yeah, you don't want to have to roll that much gold for it.
Olaf reroll, for Bruiser Olaf, I am more eager to spend a bit more gold to roll. For Pentakill Olaf, I need to have like 8 natural Olafs to decide to reroll it, like to just go for 3-star. Otherwise, like it's just not good enough, and you have to spend too much gold to spike. On the other hand, the Bruiser Olaf just spikes way better, way harder, and comes on light sooner.
Yeah, I agree. I think for one cost, most of these stats are inflated around. There's obviously very high level players who are not just playing one cost rerolls for fun, like I do sometimes on ladder. They're waiting for those games where they have a ton of natural copies and then just obviously going for it and getting a good result, because they just have very, very high tempo overall. But I think that's covered everything on the stats. On the patch side, I think, everything has not changed too much. I think a few lines like Caitlyn and a few other things are more viable, like Disco again. But overall, it'll be similar to what we've been seeing for the last 2 weeks on ladder, which is fun as a viewer. Hearthstone is always fun, but maybe I would have liked to see a bit more parity between the 4 cost comps, especially. But we'll see what the meta looks like and how it shakes up for GSC number 2. Talking about GSC number 2, I believe we're going to go to the qualified players list next to see. Just briefly, I'll do my own little monologue now because I don't want to spend infinite time here. We have to go do power rankings and fantasy draft and all this stuff, different stuff, and we have around an hour. So quickly, just going over some big names for Turkey. We have Havali coming back. We have Ayem, who I believe did good in this last GSC. If I'm not mistaken, he made day 3 with Chinar, one of the breakout Turkish players. And we have Brix coming back, playing in the UNE ladder. He had a different name, so I didn't know it was him, but he popped off. Noel, have you been seeing Brix playing on the UNE?
Yeah, well, I didn't know that it was him. He DM'd me like a couple of days ago that it was actually him, but I mean, I haven't played that much on the UNE, I think. I probably played more on the US this set.
Okay.
But yeah.
We have Noel himself, who did, of course, qualify. All 3 players here all made it to the GSC. I know, Kevin, you kind of not barely made it, but you made it to the TRC in the 4th place position. It was.
I mean, no, it was barely. I won the tiebreaker, so yeah.
Listen,
Otherwise, we have to play the OQ. True.
From UID, we have Og, of course. Zulanash has been popping off in the scrim, so I think definitely someone to. I think he's always been a very good player in GSCs. Just, smaller country, smaller region, maybe not as visible on social media, on Twitch, etc. But I think someone that can do really well this weekend. Raptor from Israel did well in his first GSC, GSC 1. Is back again for this GSC. Fujiwara, Saru is back, past GSC winner. And then Europe West, a lot of the big names. I'm not going to go over everyone. I'm happy to see Dalisom here and Snoonibu, who is not always able to consistently be a 1.3, 1.4 KLP, but he made it in time for this GSC qualification. So really happy for him. Obviously, I'm a big fan of all his stuff, being Spanish. And I'm So Fresh is one player that Ron talked about a lot in this episode because he's a beast. He's done a lot of stuff outside of competing the last few sets. To kind of a step back, I think after, was it set 7 that he made finals, I believe, or set 8? But he's been smurfing. He had 2 accounts in the top 10 at some point on ladder on EU West. He's rank 1 now, I believe, or has been for a few days now. So really happy to see him popping off so much. Any other names to jump out here to any of you in the EU West ladder?
I mean, mostly that I'm So Fresh, not only if he was like on the rank 1 on his main, but he was also top 5, top 6 on his smurf. That was fairly impressive. Even like So Fresh was never I never saw him as a competitive player.
And yeah, go ahead, Noel.
I'm surprised to see that Skipeus is not on the list. I think he's not qualified also.
He isn't.
Yeah, so that's definitely surprising considering his last performance in the previous GSC. So yeah, I'm sad to see that he didn't make it.
Yeah.
He was sniping me on the on the ladder. Didn't end up well for him.
He dropped quite a bit LP for the snapshot, missed the rank lock, and then tried to open qualifier, but I think he got eliminated day 3, I believe it was, the final day. So pretty unfortunate. Moving on to the TRC qualification or to the broadcast talent. Either's good. So these are the casters for the event. And actually, this is not the casters. I actually uploaded the wrong thing because Kenobi is casting over Morgan. Regardless, those are the casters, the usual team plus Kenobi. I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to ask you guys, what are your opinions on players joining broadcast as casters?
Oh, I think it's great. I've really enjoyed Kenobi's casts before as well. He, compared to a lot of the other French players, he actually speaks really good English as well, which is always nice to listen to when it comes to casting. So yeah, I've been loving Kenobi's analysis, especially like he's very analytical in his cast approach, which I think is a good addition to the show.
I was very surprised when he joined us for the Super Bowl cast in set 8, I believe. We had like players from each country that was participating come and join for one match as guest casters. I think Chuswa joined for a game and a few others. And he came in and he was very eloquent, very well spoken in terms of like not just, serviceable with your English, but actually, using build phrases and metaphors and all this different stuff while casting. So I was really, really happy and happy to have him as a more kind of consistent guest caster for these events. And Stuart will be joining as well. He's been casting a lot of the TRC stuff in League of Legends, for example, and rest of EMEA. He'll be joining for the main broadcast. Noel, do you get to tune into the main broadcast at all? Do you watch with watch parties or other players?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it's definitely nice to have a competitive player broadcasting also, because we can hear the opinion of the player, and sometimes it's like an extra, a plus. It's always nice. If I remember correctly, like a couple of sets ago, Solo Gasang maybe was on the broadcast team, maybe one GSC, I'm not sure, for like a day. So yeah, if there were more players doing it, that would be great.
Yeah, I believe also Solo casted, I believe, one of the worlds, like set 4, set 5, was going to the Wikipedia stuff, and I was surprised to see him there. But yeah, I think he casted one of the worlds as well. Moving on, we are going to see now the power ranking stuff. I think we're ready to get into it. We're going to talk first about, just a quick reminder on the judges, just so everyone, we're still on second episode. Someone might have missed all the initial, dumping of information. So the judges for all the power or all the ballots will be 15 judges in total. I went for some amount of parity when it comes to what regions were represented. It was not just 15 French players voting only the French players as their top 15. So you can see here on the bottom, Enzo Lecoco double for the French, Logasang, Sasa Salvi, Dark Hydra for the Germans, Lolana and Og Og with some UNE representation, as well as Scapeus. But Noel doesn't hate me too much. And we have Snooty and me, Alan, Lelouch, and Ging. So trying to cover at least most of the major regions and have players who have eyes on all the different ladders and all the different communities, so that if someone is really popping off, there's at least one person saying, hey, this guy's doing pretty good. I want to give him some spotlight, basically. But with that, we can go on to the snub list, which is the players that received at least one vote, but did not have enough votes to make the top 15. We're not going to go through every single name. We're not going to go through every, why these players got a vote or why they didn't get a vote or more votes, etc. But if each of you want to say one name that jumps out to you from this list that you guys want to talk about, or you guys want to give some extra details about, that'd be awesome. Alan?
I mean, I'll start with the Zero. Menu won the recent GSC with the Disco. Disco got rebuffed, so maybe he can run it back again.
Kevin?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Zoro had wasn't picked more because his showing at the first GSC was so strong, and I he's also a really strong player on ladder. I feel like he just cooks up good boards. I don't know what to say. Like every time he's in my lobby, he's doing pretty well for himself. So he's definitely a good player.
Well, any standouts from this list?
Yeah, I'm seeing a few players who've been playing competitively for quite a while, like Lalana and Tian. But it's nice to see that after a few sets they are coming back stronger. Especially I'm rooting for Lalana because he's a great guy. I love watching his stream. So yeah.
And we have some Spanish guys here as well. Snooty, Lalison, who had a really good disco performance on that patch for a bit, started 4.1, I believe it was. And then when he had to play his Decay game, they did not go so well, and he lost his throne. But still, I think a very strong player who, in Heartsteel's patches especially, I think he's very, very experienced with playing AD Flex in general and capping out boards and playing legendaries. So, and Snooty, I think he's one of the biggest content creators in TFT right now, one of the most wholesome guys as well. So anytime he's doing well competitively, I think it's good, not just for the Spanish people, but just for TFT as a whole, because he brings in 3K viewers consistently, no matter what patch it is, no matter what tournaments, etc. So I think it's really cool to have him. Kind of like I'm So Fresh, players that are very good entertainers, but also when they really tune in, they can be very, very good players as well. And looking at the rest of the snub list, we'll see, again, players who received votes, some of them just barely, Tardaman 16, Shurkane 17th. So some big hitters. We have Alan on this list as well, 14 votes. Kevin on this list as well, 18 votes. Kevin, are you happy with this amount of votes? Did you expect more? Are you?
That's not bad.
Are you mad at people for not
take
voting
those.
more?
No, we take those for sure. I would have expected to be a little bit lower at least, but yeah, I mean 18. I'm definitely fine with that.
What do you think the reasons are for this? After your Vegas performance, do you think you went up? Do you think it went down? Where'd your confidence level at for this GSC?
Yeah, I mean it's probably mostly because of Vegas. I mean I participated in almost every single one of the last 6 GSCs. I think there's only one I missed, and I day 3 4 or 5 of them if I remember correctly. But Vegas probably bumped it up by a little bit. People already knew that I was at least a pretty good competitive player, and then Vegas probably bumped it up. Yeah.
Alan, you happy with your fortune?
Yeah, I was surprised that people voted for me, given that I didn't play such a long time and I'm just still getting back to the seats. But yeah, I'm very happy.
Maybe I put you second on my list. That's the only reason. Just trying to get your confidence up for the weekend.
I'm down to bet Sapphire that you didn't.
Because no one will know what my list looks like. We're going to look at the average list, and then we're going to look at Kevin and Noel's specific ballots, but only I can know what my list looked like. Okay, and then other players here, Kubikson has been having a pretty good set. I'm very happy to see Shurkane, 17th, not quite making the top 15, but still, he's, I think, had a great comeback. He hit rank 1. Tardaman as well, I'm surprised to not make top 15 because he's been smurfing the whole set, really. Yes, Kevin?
Elia has 29 votes.
29 votes.
Holy!
And maybe a lot of this is you, Kevin, because I've heard you across different streams and different audio visual channels saying, oh, Elia's a beast. Reroll patch is in a smurf. He's my top 3 German players. So you've been spreading the word. Maybe some people are believing you. Og as well, 22nd, Bolta.
Okay, listen. Skipeus made it through even though he's not playing. What is this?
Yeah,
there is some fraudulent behavior.
No, I'll explain. This should be only votes for GSC players. but there is a time crunch with the graphics being done, with, the open qualifier finishing, and someone, I'm not going to say who, of the judges had a lot of faith on Scipius making day 3 of open qualifier and qualifying. Didn't turn out to be the case, so he slipped through the cracks, and he yoinked 11 points from maybe Kevin Parker.
It is what it is.
Oh man.
And I think that's all the names that mostly covered. The rest of these names are all, I think, OGs in the EMEA scene that need a little bit more to break into that top 15 right now. There's, of course, current form, not really taking into historical rankings that we saw in the last episode. But we can now move on to the top 15 power rankings, and it'll be current form rankings, taking into account ladder, taking into account TRCs, but mostly looking at just the last 2-3 weeks, because we don't want to think about all the other stuff. And there it is. Number 1 in the rankings from the DACH TRC from Germany. It is Wet Jungler, runner-up at Worlds in set 9. Been a beast. Most of this set has 2 accounts in the top 20, has been fluctuating between 1st and 10th and, a bit lower sometimes. But overall, I think a lot of players gained a lot of respect for him throughout the last 2 sets. In set 8, he's been super consistent in GSC, so not surprised to see him kind of breaking into that S tier that we see a lot of the historical players at. And rounding out the top 3, I think that are really separated, is going to be Ging, who's second place finish, very close to what Jungler, actually just 0.6 away in the average score. And Double 61, who he didn't have the best GSC number 1 experience, has not been smurfing as much as he was at the beginning of the set on ladder, and has fallen a bit in the rankings. He's now 3rd. In agreement with his top 3, anyone disagree with these 3 players being kind of the standout top 3 in EMEA right now? Alan?
Oh, looks pretty much handpicked. How the pick, I believe. I don't remember my picks, but I am pretty sure those are pretty much accurate.
Kevin, did you have EMEA in your top 3?
No, I don't.
Oh, we'll see later. We'll see. Don't
We're
worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry, EMEA. You'll be able to flame your friends if he voted you less than 4th. Noel, do you agree with the top 3 of what Jungler getting in double?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I haven't picked Red Jungler as my first. I picked, I think, Double, because I respect him a lot as a player. But I've been watching Red Jungler stream a lot lately, and yeah, he's a great player this set for sure.
Okay, hold up. I need to correct. I will need to correct my sheets. There is no more gold openers. Jungler has to go lower. There is okay, he's doomed.
Like, can't take it back. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's true. You're right.
No one has that many gold openers as this man, and now they are gone. He'll be lost.
Looking lower down the list, Cambiz had a respectable day 3. Has not been popping off that much on ladder. Has not really been, I don't know if he's been ranked 1 this set yet, but still 4th place in the standings here. You guys agree with Cambiz being this high? You guys think he should be higher? You guys think he should be lower?
I definitely think that he's in the top 5. Maybe not now. I don't know, because he's not really streaming that much, and I haven't played with him on ladder.
I think he's actually been playing more League of Legends on stream than TFT.
Is it the same with Double as well? Because I saw that he hit Challenger in the solo queue.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Or was it not him?
Yeah, I know, I agree. I think so as well. No, I saw the same tweet.
Well, wow.
Yeah, tagging Garmin Core.
Yeah, so they are practicing.
Which is not good news, because Double has had his stints in other games as well. He hits Immortal or Radiant, whatever it is, on Valorant. Before, I believe it was set 8 Worlds or set 7 Worlds. And EMEA, as you guys know, until last set, we didn't do too hot. So hopefully Double is locked in for this weekend. Dark Hydra, is he locked in for this weekend? He joined the Scrim server today. Did not play Scrims until maybe he's playing now, catching up. Kevin, do you rate Dark Hydra as one of the top 5 players in EMEA? Do you rate him as a top 2 or 3 in Germany? Even?
Yeah, I mean, Dark Hydra is definitely top 5 Germany for sure. I don't know about EMEA really. I feel like it's so hard to like rank all these players, because they're all really good, and I mean, I'm always more biased towards the Germans because I know their playstyle better, especially if it's like a friend of mine like Hydra. So I mean, I think I have him on like 7th or 8th or something like that.
We're gonna see, don't worry.
Yeah.
Did Hydra qualify for GSC now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he did. Blue ladder.
Yeah. Or else I'd be embarrassed again that I fucked him up on 2 rankings, because Hydra slipped through the cracks in the historical ranking despite getting votes to be, I think, 7th or 8th. I just didn't even count him on like the spreadsheet, just a lot of manual addition and everything. he was pretty pissed at me. So hopefully this time he's in the correct spot. At least he's here. So it's already a plus. Enzo coming in at 6th. I haven't seen Enzo be as dominant as we saw. I think his peak was during set 8 Worlds and just all that set 8 sets, really. Do you guys agree with him being 6th here? Do you guys think he has still a lot more to prove in set 10?
Okay, I'll speak first. This man is Hardstyle Whisperer. I put him very high. Like, same as Juggler last patch was a gold opener Whisperer. This man knows how to open with Hardstyle. 5 out of 5. I don't know how, but he knows.
He has attack. He has the Mort Dog on speed now.
Yes. He does enjoy a lot of Hardstyle.
Right.
He even had 10 Hardstyle in one of the scrims we played.
Ooh, so it'll be a patch for Enzo this weekend. You agree, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Enzo that much in my games for some reason, but I mean, he's obviously a player with a lot of potential, as we saw in set 8.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been popping off that much lately, like you said. But I mean, with a player of his caliber, if he preps well enough and gets the right angles for what he prepped for, then yeah, I think he can do really well, definitely.
Enzo is 6th, but Lekoko teammate on Gentlemates is 9th. I think Lekoko has been performing in tournaments, at least the French tournaments. I've always seen him kind of doing better than Enzo. It's always, Lekoko 5th, Enzo a little bit disappointing for what you expect from Enzo. Lekoko has not been as strong on ladder from what I've seen most of his sets. Where do you guys see Lekoko? Because he's always considered, I think he already broke through into that historical, despite really popping off in set 6 onwards, and has been consistently very, very good in GSCs. I think he's one of these players like Double that you can't count out at any point in time. Do you guys agree with this? Where do you guys see Lekoko's form right now coming into this weekend? Well,
For sure. Like, if I remember correctly, Lekoko is one of the strongest tournament players in EMEA. Almost all GSCs, he's like top 10, like every day. So like I'm surprised that he's not in performing the same way on ladder as well. But yeah, I think he's one of the favorites of the tournament for sure.
I do think some of these rankings there's a lot of bias towards ladder. I think a lot of the judges, I send them the form and they open it and say, and they open the EU West ladder and they see the top 10 spots and say, okay, you're first, you're second. So if you're not in the top 10 to 15 spots on EU West ladder, a lot of judges will not vote for you, or they'll forget you exist. Some ballots, believe me, if I were to look at every individual ballot, some people would be very embarrassed because there are some big names that they just completely forgot to include that I think they would have if they spent a bit more time maybe and diligence going through their ballots. We have Chinar in the top 8. He's always, I think, been quietly a beast in the EMEA. A lot of great GSC performances, great ladder performances as well. But I'm so fresh. We talked about him a little bit before. I think he's been a beast. If you guys have been playing many games with him, any play style idea or like thoughts you guys have on how he's been playing this set?
From what I've seen, he is quite flexible in terms of comps. Like I've seen him play like 10 or 15 different comps in my games. So I think he can play like reroll comps as well, just as much as a normal forecast. So I think he's ready for the GSC, considering he's performing like insanely on ladder.
We don't have a French player here, but I'd love to hear more about Yediz's work. I think he's been really a beast. We saw Tardaman as well, who finished 16th, just barely to make a power ranking. I think both of them have been absolutely, just crazy smurfing on ladder since the beginning of the sets. Even with like the Wild Rumble at the very beginning, they were doing really, really well. And I think they're kind of already breaking into that, maybe not S tier in terms of French players, but the A+ tier, where they've proven over a long time they were very good. But now they took it into that next level, I think, for this set. Any ladder experience with the story? I know he's been very high ranked for a lot of the set, but I haven't caught him in many my games, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's really good. When I was in Vegas, Hartman also told me that he would say he's the best French player overall, and I value Hartman's opinion a lot because I think he's one of the best French players. So
I can continue that chain. Lekoko voted Yedizor as his rank 1 on his ballot, so a lot of French players are giving him, a lot of respect, a lot of props, and I think especially from the French players, it means a lot. Because they have, I think, very invested views on who's good and who's bad. So I think it's definitely a good sign for Yedizor, and hopefully he does well this weekend and tries to have that success of having both the ladder success and the tournament success at the same time, which I think is really important to cement your status kind of in EMEA, because it's such a deep region that it's really hard to break through into a tier where everyone everyone respects you, not just a few players that know you best. Salvi did pretty well in the TRC qualification as far as I know, Kevin.
Yeah, he won.
that was a throw. Thank you. Anything about his play style? Do you think he's a beast? Do you think, is he better than, is it his peak right now? Well, where do you say his level is coming into this weekend?
Oh, I mean, I can say he definitely mastered the Ezreal line last patch, for sure. I think he played it every game, and with a very high success rate. He raised almost every single game as well, like raised the stakes, and he just plays for those top finishes every game. He doesn't just settle for top 4. He always like tries to play for highest cap, and he's definitely a beast at like just capping out his board, playing towards his outs.
It's a good patch to be good at that, because Heartsteel is still going to be very relevant in GSC 2. So we'll see players who succeeded this doing still very well. It's going to look like for this patch. Alan, similarly for you in the TRC, you've been doing really well in the Ultra Liga. You made it to the final stage, finishing second in your group. Lelouch also made it to the final stage alongside Royson and Kubikson. You 4? No? I think.
I think.
We're Kubikson.
Over Kubikson. Yeah. Kubikson had a pretty good climb on the last day. He had like plus 300 LP on the day of the snapshot day, and he barely made it to the
through ladder. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. And how's Lelouch's level been? I know on ladder he hasn't been popping off as much as we've seen in past sets, where he's been kind of top.
His Giga High Rolling TRC, I think, pretty mid for now. I didn't watch him in the past week. Maybe he did improve a bit, but like in the past 2 weeks weren't that good for him. I think he struggles on the set, and also I don't think he plays as much as he used to play different sets. So maybe it's just the dislike of the patch of the set.
I'm looking at the Twitch chat bottom right, waiting for Lelouch's comment to come through. But good to know. I mean, not every player can be good on every single patch, every single set. Sometimes, like you mentioned, could be motivation, could be just some players are just more quickly adapting to things like the headliner mechanic, for example, and just overall. There it is, Lelouch coming through as we all expected.
I mean, he's getting tome from every PvE. Like, how do you not call it out? Like, there must be some justice.
I have to spam this podcast link in the Scrimvitational so that all these players watch it and retweet it. I know Lelouch, I can count on you to always tune in, no matter what. I don't have to send it to him. And 14th in the rankings, we have Noel, who had a big showing at Vegas, has been playing really well in EUS. I saw your stats looking pretty good for the games you played. Do you feel this is close to your peak? In set 7, you were very strong, obviously. Went to Worlds. Where do you think your level is at right now?
Yeah, I think it's close. Maybe I don't feel that confident this patch yet.
Mm-hmm.
Last patch felt way better for me, but I guess I still have a few days before GSC. So, but I'm definitely trying to prep as much this next 2 days, and hopefully I can make it to regionals, because that's my only way now.
And Noel fighting the good fight for the EUNE server, for Raptor, for Og, who was like, why is Noel missing on the historical ranking? He should be here. Well, at least we have one player who defends the EUNE side of the fight, qualifying or making on this ranking on the top 15, and hopefully popping off this weekend as well. And to round off the power rankings, we have Sologasen, who's always consistent, always, on everyone's minds on ladder, always has 2 Smurfs, 2 accounts popping off. And in tournaments, we'll see. He's always a mystery. Some tournaments he does really well. Some tournaments he's not always as consistent as other of the veteran tournament players. Do you guys agree with this statement? You guys think it's, I'm wrong about this? What are you guys' opinions on Solo?
Pretty inconsistent in terms of patches. So if he has a patch where he figures out a good comp to spam, or like 2 comps, then he's popping off. But if he doesn't get to one of those, then it's a struggle patch. At least that's what I feel when I'm playing in the lobbies with Sol. And like, we have pretty similar gaming hours, like on the ladder, so I'm playing against him pretty often.
Evan?
Yeah, I agree. He didn't have that much tournament success, like in the earlier sets, I guess, or in the like previous sets, I mean. But the last couple tournaments, he's been doing better, like the last couple GSCs especially. And I mean, he can obviously he's a great player, so he can definitely perform if he's well enough prepared and if his mental is good enough. Because sometimes I feel like streaming kind of grieves him, because he also leaves his mic on in the game and kind of feels the need to like provide commentary, which would definitely distract me if I was doing that. So that's why I don't.
For sure. Like it always amazes me how he can play like 5 to 6 hours before like GSCs. Like sometimes I see that he starts streaming at like 10 a.m. and GSC is like at 4 and he's streaming for 12 hours at least. So I don't know how he can keep focus those days.
Form up.
As far as I've heard, I think Sol is a player who values his stream a lot, and maybe the only player who maybe values it more than his competitive record. I think he cares more about his stream being successful and him feeling comfortable with where his stream is going over his career. So if they want to talk trash about his tournament results or he's inconsistent, I don't think he minds too much because I know he's one of the, maybe the biggest streamer, the most consistent streamer in the EMEA when it comes to having been doing it for a long time at a high level from an entertainment standpoint, but also from a competitive standpoint, at least on ladder. I think no one can count out Solo in any set, any patch. He's always there to some extent on 2 accounts most of the time as well.
He actually, he actually almost made it to Worlds in set 7 as well. Like he was in the final lobby,
exactly.
He was quite close, yeah.
That was for me the turning point where everyone always says, at least at the time, starting to cast in set 6, he had the reputation of, very good ladder player, sucks at tournaments. But then I started looking at the leaderboards, some of the final lobbies. He's made EMEA finals a lot and has made a lot of final lobbies, and he's actually been much closer than people think of having very, very good results. So it's kind of these coin flips where he just doesn't have the good day in the end. Kevin, I think you also know that feeling in set 8 when the Germans didn't do so hot.
Yeah. I was doing well after 4 games, but yeah, I kind of jinxed it somehow.
You have a redemption in set 10.
But agreed.
I'm actually surprised that Zelunash hasn't received a single vote, actually, because like as we talked about earlier, he's been popping off on EUNE for like at least 5 sets.
He wasn't on the Snubbed List.
He was?
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I don't think he was, but maybe. But also like on EU West, I think he was like ranked 2 like a couple of sets ago, and like he's always high challenger when he switches from EUNE for prepping for GSC.
I think a lot of it is just the country you're from and the region you're from. There's many players that should get a lot more respect, but if you're not French, if you're not German, if you're not in conversation with these other names, you're not grouped together as an easier way for viewers or other competitors to remember you, they'll just quickly forget your results. I agree with you. I think Zelunash, every time I cast GSCs, he's always been there as a player that I remember kind of like they see that for examples. Also, there's the players that qualify to almost every single GSC. They don't win them, but they do pretty well and they make day 3s quite often.
No, if you didn't practice on the US, if you didn't play scrims, I can guarantee you would have a hard time having 10 points here because players recognize you from playing against them, myself included. Like I would not unless you are having some insane tournament run, I would not be aware of your person because like personally, I don't play that long again the competitive TFT, and like I just not be aware. And like the same as players from US are just not aware of the players playing on the different region, and the judges are just from the US. So it's just natural bias that like you can't really defeat.
So it is true that for this ranking, a few judges did not answer in time because real life. In this case, for the future, I will try and add in some more, some specific judges that add a lot more variety to the rankings. I do think some more UNE judges could be, should be happening other than just AUG. And then AUG is, I think, very US centric as well with his voting. But
I mean, he also plays on the US, like the same thing. Not only like he qualifies from the EU Nordic East, but also plays the US to practice.
We're gonna quickly look at the rankings for Kevin and Noel specifically. You guys are not mainstay judges on the power rankings, but we did get your ballots, and we want to see just very quickly what they look like to see if there's any standouts. Kevin, right away, Surecane, number 1. You think he's the best player in EMEA at this current moment in time?
I mean, I think so. I watched at least some of the Ultraliga, and he was performing extremely well, and he's obviously been on top of the ladder ever since Vegas, I think. I think Vegas is when he hit rank 1. Yeah, he's been at the very top like the entire time, and every time he's in my games, he performs really well too. Obviously, we already know his potential from when he, I think, placed 4th at Worlds in
set 5.
Whatever set it was in. Set 5, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I was struggling to pick between him and Coco because I think one of those two would have to be number 1, and then what jungler and double are like a close third
Why
and
King
fourth.
so low, given the overall standings in comparison?
Oh, I don't know. The thing is, I'm in a study group with Ging, and the thing is, he like last patch, he said he didn't even like look at the patch notes or play the game at all, or like he kind of sounded like he was slacking. So usually I would put Ging a lot higher because I mean he's definitely one of the best players in the region, obviously, but I don't know if he's that well prepared. Maybe he's doing more prepping like the days
about
before the
Canvas?
GSC. Oh, Canvas is actually, when I looked at this list, when I finished it, I only had like 20 minutes time to do this, by the way, to be completely honest with you. Like I was really busy. I was really busy today. And yeah, I also got told kind of late that I have to do this. So yeah, it's Canvas, and actually one more player is, oh yeah, Broken 99. I actually wanted to put him on there as well. But yeah, you just can't fit them all. Like it's really hard.
I agree. I think it's very difficult, especially if you don't have like all the lists, US ladder, the qualified players, everything. You're like looking through everything. It's very hard, and it's just 15 players in EU, especially as Kevin said before. It's very hard to judge player skill. I think in NA they have so much less talent at a like, high level. I'm not saying their players are not good. They are, of course, but the top 20, top 25, top 30 maybe. There's not more in the conversation past that. Whereas the EMEA, I could give you 100 players and you would respect each of the players on that list. So I agree, it's much more difficult.
Also, I was kind of biased towards Canvas because I didn't really know that he was so high LP, and I just see him streaming League of Legends all the time. Oh,
you have
that's why.
You're good.
Yeah.
You've made it past Alan's investigative questions. Now we'll see if Noel will be able to make it past. Let's see Noel's ballots.
I want to change my list, knowing that Double has been playing League of Legends. Like,
what, you want to put Canvas first, who's also been playing League of Legends? Two of your top three are not playing TFT right now, it seems like. But we do have Zulanash, so Noel, I like that you're sticking to the words. You're not just flaming all of us and then not having Zulanash on your list. You actually have him in the top 4, and he's been popping off in Scrimv. I think he's pretty much guaranteed to win one of the competitor passes for the Cactus GG LAN. So congrats, Zulanash. Hopefully you can make it. Any other standout names, Alan, that you see in this list? Any more questions?
Well, this looks pretty solid and well thought. Looks like more than 20 minutes spent. Well done, Noel. That's all.
Thank you. I actually spent 5 minutes, so less than Kevin.
You should have just taken it. God,
but I forgot Salvi, because he would probably be in like top 10 for sure.
I'm so fresh is there. I like to see that. And Sasa also made it in despite having a rough qualification through Open Qualifier. You still
honorable mention
at the level that he can really. I mean, I think sometimes you have bad patches on ladder, or you have to qualify through less than stellar means like Open Qualifier. You think Sasa can be a big surprise when it comes to returning to his usual form for GSC 2?
I mean, for sure, like he won one GSC in the past, so
two.
Oh, two. Oh, my bad.
The only players who have done it.
Okay, winner. So maybe it's the third time. So yeah, he's definitely one of the strongest EMEA players for sure in the top 20 all the time. And I saw that he qualified and saw a couple of his streams, so I'm confident that he can make day 3 at least again.
Is he prepping with you, Kevin?
Yeah, we were just VOD reviewing some of the scrims earlier. Actually, I've been in a study group with him for like quite a while as well. With him, Chinar, Ging, Ilya, Memo.
That sounds like a hefty prep.
Yeah,
we'll see the results.
Yeah, the Dasik was also in it, but he hasn't really been playing that much this set. Lusha just recently joined as well.
Hey, you guys to recruit players?
Heavy hitters. You guys can talk after the podcast episode. It's just not going to turn into a negotiation table. Yeah. I think this is it for power rankings for fantasy drafts. Hopefully, you guys all enjoyed the section. I think overall, it's a pretty good top 15. We are going to have a very quick agree or disagree section. North America does it. I think it's really cool. Have a few statements and then just have every single guest, agree or disagree with the statements and explain why. It'll be brief because we have fantasy draft after. And I don't want this to go too long. We're going to go over 1 hour 30, but hopefully not by too much. So first statement. Get to agree or disagree. The addition of TRCs have been a positive overall for the EMEA circuits. Alan?
Agree. Develops the inner region and circles to just do inner stuff. I can get the players together and formulate study groups of the inner regions, not only the international ones.
Kevin?
Yeah, definitely agree for me as well. It just brings the players closer together, and also more competition is always better. You know, the players get more practice on like the highest level.
Take into account when you're answering this, the fact that there are TRC slots for qualification to GSC, and you're taking away from ladder slots to some extent. So that has to factor into, you know, if you still agree.
Oh, I mean, I'm all in favor of that because I got my spots from TRC twice. So yeah, hard agree there.
Definitely agree as well. I think TRC brings the community closer, at least in Hungary. The final is offline for us. At least it was the last couple of sets. So shout out to Brazil for putting in so much work for making it offline for everyone. But yeah, I think it's nice that maybe we have more tournaments because of the TRCs compared to like NA, for example. But it's a good practice as well for sure.
I also agree. I would love, obviously, if every TRC had the same level of budget and commitment, because I think some regions are luckier than others when it comes to who's organizing, what the format is, if you have an offline event, if you have all these extra stuff on top. And just because of, you know, the region you're playing in, the country you're from, you get kind of a minor advantage. Things like the Spanish TRC, for example. I'm looking at the Ultraliga and what they've been doing every set, and the Hex League and German TRC. Kind of sucks. So I think the idea that Riot has, and I'm not leaking here, I don't know for sure, despite doing behind the scenes stuff, is that they want the TRCs to maybe, to some extent, have a more kind of same format, let's say, so it's all kind of similar for all the regions, but it's very difficult, obviously, because there's so many different, you know, parts of the equation, let's say, when it comes to population, when it comes to, all the different stuff. So that's my only minor downside, but other than that, I completely agree. I think they've been great for developing national community, especially in Northern Europe, for example. A lot of players are popping off and more invested because they've got together as a community and they have more prep groups and stuff like that. So I think it's great. Next, agree or disagree? We have a big one, and I did wait until we had someone representing EUNE. EU West greater than EUNE. Let's start with Noel this time, so we have some counter arguments ready.
I mean, it's not even close. Like
okay,
you had
jumps off the boat. The boat is sinking. He's out.
Like you have to be honest here.
Kevin, do you agree? EUS is greater?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Okay, let's make it a bit more. Let's make it a bit more fair. The question: do you guys think UNE has the right amount of spots directly qualifying to GSC?
I want to start because like I probably played the most. I don't think you play at all on the UNE, so I think we have 40 now. It's definitely way too much. Personally, I think 10 was okay. Maybe 8 would be the best, but 14 is just way too much. Like I think we have probably about like 10 great players and maybe some good players other than that. But yeah, it should be lowered.
And do you think of those 10 great players, some of them are just straight up just playing US to qualify? Or do you know players that should be playing UNE for TRCs and stuff that just gave up and don't care and are playing US the entire set?
I don't know. I know that a lot of UNE players also play on EU West, like all sets, especially when they prep for a tournament. But I don't think they switch, actually. Like, they just stick to UNE because they probably don't really care that much.
And do you think UNE players that stick to only UNE are hindering themselves when it comes to developing their level of play on ladder?
Well, I know that some players switch to EU West from UNE because they wanted to improve as a player. And I can see that happening over the sets. When you play ladder on EUNE compared to EU West, like I would say that the top EUNE lobbies are like a strong Grandmaster lobby in EU West. So
my lobbies, okay. Reassuring. I'm gonna go change ladders, guys. I'll be back next set better than ever. The only way I'll qualify to GSC. Got you. Understood. I do think at the very top end, though, I think it's obvious players like yourself, players like Og, are, up there. I think it's like similar to NA, where at the very top end, there's a lot of very good players, but then it falls off much more drastically than EUS or EMEA in general. I think it's similar with UNE. Like everyone, even going to worlds like Oceania and like these smaller regions, at the top end, they have players that are definitely as good as most other major regions, I would say. But yeah, thank you for the insight, Noel. Going to the last, agree or disagree, and sorry for setting you up in that way. We have one last statement. The national/language barriers are overall a detriment to EMEA's potential as a region. Alan, agree or disagree?
Agree. A reason why players like myself, I want to, like, for example, if there is a great player, for example, Fresh, I'm so Fresh is popping off. I can't suddenly go and watch him play and listen his thoughts because I simply just do not understand it, and like therefore I cannot improve and I'm just gated by the language diff. So that's just as simple as it is. Also, when there are people who struggle with English, like myself, it's not my primary language, and there is other people who struggle even harder, and they can't prep with people from other countries, and because they can't just express their thought process properly. So it's harder for us.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, I can pretty much just repeat anything Alan just said, because yeah, it's kind of hard when like, for example, when a player really pops off in GSC and gets highest points, and then you go to watch their VOD and you can't understand anything. I mean, for me, it's a bit easier because I speak some French and Spanish. I had it both in school. I was actually really good in French in school, even though I forgot a lot of it.
Now it all makes sense.
I actually do watch some French and Spanish streamers.
Rise to the top. I've just been watching French players the last 3 sets and pretending he's German.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a buff to understand other languages, that's for sure. So I definitely agree with the statement.
Oh,
yeah, of course I agree as well. Even though I believe that EMEA is still like one of the best regions, like maybe the top 2. Even though our past word scores don't reflect that, I still believe that since we have so many great players compared to other regions, that we should do better in words than the way we play.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. I'll make these a bit harder next episode because we're all going to be in agreement with all of even Noel for the last one.
I thought you were going to meme here a bit, and you are just like throwing those
I wanted
easy
to
balls.
bring this one up because even in set 6, when I started casting TFT, I very quickly noticed this, and I think I've said it, and you can go through so many different podcasts where I've mentioned this. I think it's number one issue we've had in EMEA is, the language barrier, and this is the big reason why the Scrimvitational is happening. It's, yes, you guys get better scrim, but also to get a way to push all the top players in EMEA into one server, into one place where I can, ping you guys about, to fill out different forms, or to, try and have people that don't have prep groups have a channel where they can say, hey, I want to have a better prep group. Who wants to join me, or who wants to get together, or have at some point maybe more info sharing, and have players be more open to sharing tech and sharing insight on different lines and comps, etc. So if you are a good player in EMEA, and by good I mean very good, check my Twitter and you'll find a form. You can fill it out to get a server invite, even if you're not qualified to this GSC. If you're a good player and I know you, or if you're a good player, has a good stats on ladder, or a good rank on ladder like Challenger, or have qualified to any GSC recently, fill it out and you'll most likely get an invite and hopefully be able to share a space with your peers and improve a TFT with some of these language and community barriers being broken down. But with that out of the way and all of us in full agreement on everything, let's start the fantasy draft to see how much agreement we actually have. Might be some tech issues. I will be trying to do most of it. We'll see if it works out. I think I know the format. I've seen pretty much all of NA's episodes, so I hope I know the format. But if anything is wrong, I know if anyone was watching, you can correct me, or someone who knows can tell me we fucked up somewhere. The basic thing is, it will be a draft where we each have $100. By turn, someone makes a bid on one of the players here on the right. It's not all the players in GSC. It's only 64 out of 128. I don't want to change this box here and everything, but I think I got most of the big names that you guys would want to vote for in this list. You guys bid for a player. A bid can start as low as $1 and as high as you want, as long as it's not over 100 or over like 90 something, because you need some money to bid out the rest of your team. And when you make a bid, someone else can outbid you, and it just goes on like that in a cycle until no one wants a bid higher than that, and that player gets sold. Then we go on to the next player, etc., until we each have 5 players. Usually, some players go for a very high amount. In NA, it's from 35 to 45, and some players go for $1, despite them being pretty good TFT. That's just how the draft works.
Little bro got sold for $1. Like, he'll get memed on the lot.
You guys are all in this box here on the right, so you guys can vote for yourselves. Unlike the power rankings, it is legal to do so. and you can spend as much money as you want. Some players in NA, they want to go all out to send a message, and that's fine to do so. You can spend $90 if you want. But yeah, keep in mind your strategies, because sometimes you can bait other people by bidding a lot, having someone else bid higher, even though you didn't want that player at all. With that out of the way, everything kind of clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one thing before we start. Or I wanted to ask a question rather. Why do I have HR in front of my name?
was
But the
too lazy,
other
man.
HR players
an hour
don't.
ago, I had to do a lot of manual labor or digital labor, I guess, throughout this week.
Okay.
I was tired. I started like Coco. I started strong. Enzo, you, and then I'm like, nah, no team names. All right, so I don't know if I start,
Okay.
but I'm the host, so fuck it. Alan, you start.
Okay. Let's start with Hydra $1.
Okay.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have to select.
Okay, 5.
All right.
I'll go $8.
8.
$8.
You're valuing him hard. All right, 9.
I'm out.
I'll go Hydra 13.
Kevin, you in yet, or
You guys want to give me number 5 on the power rankings for $13?
what do you
And
think?
you wanna disrespect your German?
Yeah, 15. 15.
15.
I'm good for now.
Kevin's on 15 Hydra for $15. Set 9 EMEA champion. Reminder for everyone here.
I mean, Panda, you beat. Like, aren't
He
you?
knows what it means to win a tournament, and you guys are gonna spend only 15 out of your $100.
Feel free to spend more, Panda. What do you mean?
I will spend $16 on Dark Hydra.
Well, I'll spend 17.
Okay, Kevin's on 17. I'll spend 8.
We should make some rule that when we passed $10, we outbid at least by 5.
No.
So
the rules have been set.
No?
It works well in NA. Let's not mess
Okay.
with what is not broken.
Because this like outbidding by $1 is tedious.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
okay,
some cheapskates on this
I'll take
podcast
20.
starting at 15 for Dark Hydra.
I'll sell
Okay,
$20.
From Kevin.
Are you on Hydra? Holy.
Yes.
I'm cheaper. I can't
20?
afford.
I'll do 21 for Dark Hydra.
That's a lot of money.
How much did you beat?
It's a lot of money. You're right, Kevin. Just leave it. They'll be better players. Trust.
Well, I mean, 22 then. Like-
22. Anyone higher than Kevin for Dark Hydra? $22. Okay. Sold to Kevin for $22.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an all German lineup. It's time.
Oh, I should have.
At least they're gonna be able to communicate properly.
Okay, Dark Hydra, 22. All right, Kevin, you can do the next bid.
Okay.
Any player.
I'll go Zyko, $5.
Zyko for $5. Anyone wants to bid on Zyko for $5? He was not in the power rankings. All 15.
He's yours.
Thank you.
Strong words from Noel. He is yours. Alan, no?
I'm out. Feel free. No multicasters, no dollars for
Wait,
me.
why didn't I say 5 immediately then?
Yeah,
I thought you guys were gonna,
Zyko for
gonna
5?
bid.
Kevin's strategy is bidding fast and heavy to fill his team. Okay, Noel, your bid's next.
Okay, let's do Zul and Ash.
Okay, so once again, putting your money where your mouth is. Zul and Ash from Noel.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
start
wait. Is Zul and Ash on this list?
I don't think he is.
Oh, maybe he should be, though.
We can allow.
Okay, let's pretend he's on this list. Yeah, I mean, if you know someone in GSC that's on this list, you can still vote for him, I would say that.
So yeah, I will start at $5.
How much? 5?
5, yeah.
That's so expensive for me. Panda? What do you think?
For Zulanash, 5. I will go 7 for Zulanash.
No?
I do 10.
Panda?
I'll do 11.
Okay. No, that is outbidding.
Okay, 12.
14.
What's your final bid?
That's not for you to know, buddy. Zulanash, 14. I think he's a really good player. He's proven it in scrims. He's in very good form. I would, if I were you, I would bid a lot more.
Okay.
You having him?
15. Yeah.
15 for Zulanash. Is that your final bid? Anyone wants to go higher?
I think you pushed it well, Panda. Well played.
All right, Zulanash to Noel for 15.
He just knows that I'm biased.
Yeah, I know. Alanzq pushed it pretty well. All right, Panda.
My turn to bid. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit one of the big ones. I'm going to hit one of the most accomplished players on ladder of all time, Kevin Parker, up for the bid.
$1.
Sorry, who is he?
Kevin for $1. Does anyone want to go higher?
Please, guys, please don't leave me hanging.
I think I value my slots in the team. I don't want to fill up. Wait, can you have more than 5 people?
No. That's
Wait,
part of the.
can I bid on myself?
You can vote for yourself. Yes.
You can buy yourself.
As much
Can I
as you
bid on
want.
myself?
If you want to, fake it till you make it, you can put 50 big ones, and then whoever watches the episode from NA will see 50 on Kevin, and they'll be like, "Wow, this guy's a beast." It's a good strategy.
I'm kind of down to buy
What
myself.
price? Right now, you're at $1.
Okay, I mean, I'll go up to $5
$5
for myself.
price.
That's
I
reasonable.
don't want to go higher.
No,
Kevin
do you
Parker.
like it? How do you feel about that $5? Is it good enough?
I'm gonna do 10 for Kevin.
Oh
Parker.
shit, outbeat. Okay.
Okay, I would have been offended if they had stopped at 5. Honestly.
For the memes. 15.
15 from Noel for Kevin.
You can cut me out already, guys. You beat between yourself.
Alan is not a believer in Kevin's current level of skill.
Oh, I am believer in my $100.
He's a believer. We'll see. I mean, these players are going fast, Alan. The good thing, I think, the strategy is very different than NA because we have so many more, I think, good players. So.
Actually, I think it's kind of a bad omen to draft yourself.
It's on Noel right now, $15. Any higher? 1, 2, 17. Kevin Parker for himself trying to save face for the NA viewers that will watch the VOD later. Alan, Noel, do you want to go any higher on Kevin?
Nope. Thank you.
Well, I respect you, but I don't know. I wanna buy some French players.
I respect you, but
That'll be the title of the episode. I respect you, but I want to get some French merchandise on my team.
That's like
Okay, Kevin, you go to yourself for $17. Do you think Dark
right.
Hydra is $5 better than you right now, Kevin?
I mean, it's probably more than $5 better. Honestly, 17 is kind of a lot. But
All right, this is our first EMEA fantasy draft. I think we're going to get used to a lot of things still. We'll see how it turns out. Because the NA draft do not look like this, that's for sure.
Alan playing hedge fund.
Alan, what is your bid for the next one?
oh, the next one. I'll beat myself $1.
Okay, Alan, for $1. Silence was heard
good?
across
Let's
the
go
town.
next. We good? Pretty sure
No
no
one
one
wants
wants
to-
me.
No one
Let's
wants
go,
more than Alan for more than. Okay, I'll do Alan for $9.
You good? I am out.
All right. I know, Alan. This is finally his time to shine. I got to steal. All right, Kevin, you bid next.
Okay, I will start at with EMEA at $3 then.
And Leah, $3.
5.
5 from Alan.
8.
8. Quickly climbing in intervals of $3. $8 for Aaliyah. It's a reroll patch. Lots of viable rerolls. Aaliyah, considered by Kevin Parker himself, one of the top 3 German players in existence right now in the game of TFT. Went for only $8. Truly.
I mean, I'll have to
10
go-
from Kevin. Any higher?
I'm sorry, I'm saving for French people.
Noel has his, Noel is I think he knows how to negotiate. He has his one line ready to go. Anytime he feels pressure, sorry, I'm saving for French people.
Panda?
EMEA, it's on 10. It's on 10 now, right?
Panda, you bidding something here? No?
I'm good. I have Alan
Okay,
for 10
Kevin,
already.
Kevin, you can have it. You can have it.
Kevin,
Enjoy
EMEA
your-
for 10.
Wow, you guys.
Kevin has
okay.
one slot left. on his team.
Psycho for 5 and EMEA for 10. Like,
So
well,
you have one big budget move to make, Kevin, and that's it. Don't buy any more German players for discounted prices because then you have a lot of money left over. All right, Noel, your bid next.
I mean,
Okay, let's do a French player.
All right,
Okay, let's do Cambiz.
Ambiz, who has been playing League of Legends recently. That's the rumor. For how much? Your starting bid? It'd be higher than 1 if you want to save us some time. You can
Yeah, let's do $10.
$10, 20.
25.
25 from Noel.
Panda?
Good, Alan. Thanks for asking. 25. Kevin's out. Kevin has one slot left, and that's not the French player he wants.
He's saving for Solving.
28.
28 from Alan for Cambiz. Despite his League of Legends preference the last week, 28 big ones. 30 big ones. The big 3-0 has
Yeah,
been crossed. And Noel, any last minute takers? 3, 2, 1. Cambiz for $30. All right, I will bid next. And in my bid, I will go for I'm So Fresh for $1.
10.
$10 from Alan. Man, why did I pick Alan on my team? Oh my god. Better pop off. buddy.
Done.
You better go play Scrim the moment this podcast ends. I'm So Fresh 10. Kevin? Is I'm So Fresh the chosen one?
Kevin is good.
Noel?
I'm out.
Noel is out. I'm So Fresh. I made this mistake before. He is not French. He's from Belgium. So Noel, he knows this. He's done his research. He does not want any player from Belgium. 10. Last. No one else. 3, 2, 1. I'm So Fresh to Alan for 10.
I am believer. Can perform.
The believer. All right, Alan. Next bid.
What price?
Oh, I have to
Sugarcane. 5.
Sugarcane. $5. Anyone want to do higher? Noel.
10 $10.
$10 for Sugarcane. Kevin, you would love to have Sugarcane in your team. He's right now rank 1 in Europe in your eyes. He could be worth $46 perfectly. In my mind, maybe a little bit less, but he could be your chosen one, no?
I mean, yeah, he could be.
Is he though?
I'm like looking at the names, wondering if I
Imagine how
would
big brain knows
prioritize anyone else.
Pick Sugarcane for 46 and he wins GSC.
True.
It looks good, no?
Yeah. Wait, what are we at right now?
10.
10.
So yeah, I can see it. I mean, the thing is, you guys have so much more money left. Like, you guys are not gonna go that high for Sugarcane. So I'm like what? I'm just gonna have $25 left over, or like I'm just gonna give it to charity.
You can share with us if you want.
You can buy a substitute French player.
You can also buy him for 46 and just send a message.
Yeah.
So when he wins, you say, I wasn't just half believing him and I was all in. Quite literally.
Alright, I do 15 for Sugarcane. Speed it up.
Okay.
15 from who, Alan? From Kevin? It's the same as
No.
46 for him.
I mean, Kevin clearly doesn't want him, so like, let's cut it. For 15 once, for 15 twice.
But who's buying him for 15?
Me.
Oh, okay. All right. Kevin? No?
Last call.
I think I'll go for another German instead.
Let's go.
15 to Alan. Kevin,
Nice.
next bid?
Wet Jungler, 46.
46 for Wet Jungler. Kevin
And
has found his chosen one. 46. You can buy a lot of players with $46. Can you buy Wet
I'm
Jungler?
out.
No. No,
Panda.
you're out?
Panda, you bidding?
I'm out.
I'm gonna go 47.
Wow.
Really? Man.
No way.
Hold up.
Now,
Like,
what?
Don't type it in. I might.
Oh, no, now you want to bid. You're out on 46, but you're in on 47. Come on, buddy.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was counting that Parker will be out already. Now that he's still in, yeah, I'll beat. Maybe. Hold up. We're looking at the list yet. I'll go have 2 players.
What are you bidding?
No, you can have it.
I thought, buddy.
I needed to scarecrow you a bit.
Buddy.
All right, Wet Jungler's out. Noel?
I mean, I just recalled myself. The gold openers are gone, so
Your bid.
the lower value.
Okay. Let's do Savi. Maybe Kevin is going to spend.
Quick recap,
46.
46 for Kevin, 55 for Noel, 44 for myself, and 75 still for Alan. Salvi.
You know who is Econ Lord?
What's your bid, Noel?
Savi
For how much?
How much?
for $10.
$10. Salvi for 10. Kevin? It's your chosen.
Germans are running short.
Kevin, you have to pick a new chosen one.
I'll go 15.
Kevin's plan was intact in his mind. Like, okay, I'll pick some shitters for under 20, and then I'll pick Wet Jungler, and no one will contest me.
Noel.
What do you mean some shitters? Those are like insane players, hello? What are you saying, Panda?
Relax.
Stop blaming, stop blaming.
Oh,
Okay,
the
we're at what?
flame.
What's the bid now?
15 by Kevin. Noel, are you out bidding Kevin?
I mean, he's not French, but I'm ready to spend 20.
20. Kevin, answer.
I mean, I might as well just go 46. Like,
He really wants him.
What
Noel,
is
do you have
a new chosen one.
How much do you want Salvi?
Kevin Parker, does anyone want to contest?
Noel, is he $48 worth?
Answer is no. Kevin gets him. Kevin's team is done. Kevin, if you want, you can go get a snack.
Congrats.
And when we're done, I'll let you know for the goodbye, okay? That's
Congrats, Kevin.
your final team: Dark Hydra, Zyko, Kevin Parker, Elia, Salvi, a firm believer in Doc supremacy with one multicaster player in the background, making sure have some ranged options for the battle. I like it.
Cool.
Well assembled team.
You just bid, right, Noel? For Salvi?
No, he's Kevin.
No, but I mean, you offered him up for the bidding, no?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. So
Yeah, you Panda know.
Um,
You don't have much good gold left.
let's go with Yedusor for 1.
5.
5. Noel?
It's tough. I'm thinking. It's up to you.
Alan?
I mean, I'm last bit. What do you mean? That's up to me.
You want to just guarantee you him?
No, thank you. I'm good on 5.
7 for Yedusor.
Noel. Do you like Jadusar?
So it wasn't enticing at 5, but now it's 7. He's like, yeah, now it's looking good. Now it's looking better.
I mean, maybe he wants to contest you. He doesn't want to contest me because I am too rich. Like, you know, that he might be a smart man.
Okay, I will do 10.
See? There you go. Panda, how do you feel about 10?
I think we have to do some bot reviewing of the NA fantasy drafts. I think we should before next episode. I'll send a few examples.
Listen,
10.
maybe they need to study us. Like, this is the premium economics going here.
Alan,
I'm good, thanks.
I'll go 11 for Yedizor.
Okay, 15.
All right, 15 for Yedizor. Alan?
I'm good. Go for it.
Okay, we'll leave it at 15 then. Goes to Noel, who's assembling his French roster plus Zulanash. And Alan, you bid next.
Signar 5.
Chinar for 5. Oh,
I will leave you. Up to you.
look good. This is Chinar for 5. I'll do Chinar for 8.
I'm good. You can have it.
All right. Noel?
It's yours.
All right.
Oh, that is a bargain.
That is a very good bargain. Noel, you offer up for the bidding.
Okay. Double 60.
Double.
Oh, he didn't want to let it slip through. Okay.
He didn't want Canvas to solo queue, so
Yeah, he has to get the duo
he's
queue.
getting the dual queue League of Legends team online. How much?
All right,
is it?
how much?
No?
15.
15. 20. Double for 20. I'll do
25?
21. Okay, 25.
Okay.
Never mind. Not
26.
26.
30.
30 from Noel, who had
31.
$55. 31 from Alan, using his well-earned cash.
I think you forgot to update Noel's money. No, he already bought.
Oh yes.
Sorry.
How much?
15. Yeah.
He has
Thank you,
40
Kevin.
left.
I'm out.
31 for double.
No. How much did I... Oh, yeah, I did it. 31.
31. I'm gonna go 35. If you want him, you gotta get him.
That's
You gotta fight, Alan. You gotta
That's a
fight.
smart bid.
Get down into the mud, buddy.
That's a smart bid.
Oh,
You know you can get for $1. You know that you can get decent one for $1.
Of course, I've been watching Bryce. I know what he's doing in poor NA. Making these poor players who only play TFT overbid for everyone.
Fine, 36.
36 for double. Alan. And who you bid for him? No, Noel? Yeah.
I didn't buy my stuff for 36. Stop scamming me.
Okay, so I offer for the bidding, right?
Panda, I see the scam. Please, you're gonna later do the transfer
Sorry.
to your team double.
Sorry.
Like, I'm not getting scammed right here.
Hey, I will
found
bid.
money.
Cam is also gone. I will bid up Enzo for $1.
5.
10.
Panda?
I'm good.
11.
11.
Okay, it's yours. I'm out.
I mean, I've seen his cards.
Enzo for 11.
I'm very happy. I would pay even more for him. No skipping him for last as double. But
Enzo for 11.
that's cheap.
I'll go 20 for Enzo.
I'm bidding 20.
Mm-hmm. Who's researching? What are you typing out? He's checking his LP. Oh no. He's checking his EUS rank. 20 current bid. Enzo deserves much more than 20 even.
I'm looking if I want anyone else more. What one?
21 for Enzo. Noel, any higher?
Oh, no. I'm saving for someone else.
All right. He is sold to Alan for $21. Noel or no, Alan? Alan, you offer for the bid. $18 left for Alan. 40 still for Noel. waiting for the French players.
Coco 1.
Coco, $1.
Okay, 5.
5. I will do 15 for Coco.
I do 20.
20 for Coco. Alan cannot bait any longer. It's just you and me, Noel. I will do 21.
I'm out.
Out. Coco is mine for $21. Noel, you proposed.
Experian.
Experian. Oh, by the way, Noel, just in case it helps you, the second column is mostly French players. So you can just go top
Okay.
of the list.
Well, I will keep it short. 19.
Experian for 19. It's yours. Yes. Thank you, Alan, for saving me the time.
I mean, that's a good strat. You can buy whatever he wants.
And now I will propose final player. We're all very close. So it's easy to, we'll see. I'm going to go with... Actually...
Make it multiple.
I'm going to go with Ging for $1.
I will do 21.
All right. Nice to get you out of the way. Ging for 21. Alan, you propose?
Who do you not want, Panda? It's hard one. There's a lot of good ones left.
There's so many good players not being picked. It's kind of sad.
You dumbass bought me. Like, what you buy?
I thought you would pay more for yourself, man. Where'd your ego go all of a sudden?
Oh, I am the least ego player, trust me.
You bought Salvi for 46. Man, can I sell this Alan guy? I'll sell him for a higher... I'll get less money back. I don't care. I won't get the full refund. I'll get just 7 back.
No, you can't. I'm sorry. I can't decide between two. You know what? I'll take Zoro for 18.
Zoro for 18. All right.
He eliminated me in the Vegas as well. He does.
I just picked
I
who I
have
want.
faith in him.
My last player. Let's see. Let's go through the list very slowly. All gonna pop off. I don't know if I can trust him.
Oh, there's one player who really should have been picked, actually, my opinion,
Why didn't you pick him then?
because he's not German.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tartaman for 15.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, that's
I was between
that's the player
Tartaman
I
and
meant.
Zoro, pretty much.
All right, fantasy draft task included. I think it was kind of scuffed because EU is very different to NA with how it plays out because there's so many good players where I think it's well, we'll see in future editions how the strategy evolves. My team, Alanzq, hands to my head, Wet Jungler, Yoink from
Damba, stop me! I can't.
Chinar, Lekoko, and Tartaman.
Oh my God.
Alan's team, I'm So Fresh, Shurkane, Double 61, playing League of Legends, Enzo and Zoro, the Disco Enjoyer with TF buffs, coming up the line. Kevin Parker, Dark Hydra, Zyko, Kevin Parker, Elia, and Salvi for $46. And Noel, Zulanash, Cambiz, Yeduzor, Experian, and Ging. Chat, you can now vote. Who you think has the strongest team? Not vote, but just write in the chat. I need some moderators to do some
I mean,
polls and voting.
isn't it obvious that I just nailed the draft, guys?
All right, are you guys happy with your team from 1 to 10? Noel?
Oh,
How happy are you with your team?
I'm quite happy. I wanted 4 French players, but like 3 is good enough. But like I'm happy that I got Ging and Experian and Campiz. Like I think they are all making it to day 3 and probably like top 15. So I'm confident that I can win this.
I mean, all these teams are really good. It's actually kind of hard for for me personally to say which one's the best.
And from 1 to 10, are you happy, Kevin? What's your rating on your team?
I mean, I'm kind of sad I didn't get the all German lineup. I just wanted to like, bump Zyko up a bit because I think he's a good player, and then you guys just like
same
dropped him completely.
and then you guys just dropped him completely. I got stuck with this dude on my team. I think my team would be flawless if it was not for Alan. Like a stain on my perfect roster of TFT
you just got outplayed, homie. Just leave it.
I really thought from all our years of interacting that your ego would at least make you vote like 20.
I am very well aware of my own skill.
All right, Alan, you're happy with your roster?
Oh, I think I nailed it. This is exactly like if I imagined my roster, it was 4 out of 5 of those players. Before I started, so I'm very happy.
I would say also 9 out of 10, except for he who shall not be named in my number 1 slot. I'm very happy. I mean, my team, Wadzangler, he cannot not make day 3. It's literally impossible. It's already guaranteed points. Shinar as well. I think similarly, like Coco. I mean, look at his roster. Tardem is like 2nd or 3rd on ladder right now, and he's been a beast entire set. And Alan, I think it's, the time has come for you to pop off and maybe step up in the tournaments. You've been doing well on ladder this set.
Bro, did you see my stuff?
Let's see the Legends of Runeterra World Champion. Let's see that. Let's see that mental coming to TFT. You're testing different comps. It's normal. Disco, you had to see if the disease was still there. It is, but you won't be playing it on GSC. All right, that's going to be it for the fantasy drafts. Hope you guys enjoyed this experience. I know it wasn't maybe as clean. It's hard to really do something like this unless you have experience with it. But it'll be a learning process for future guests. They'll be able to look through this draft and see what not to do early on. And that'll be it for the episode as well. Any last thoughts, Kevin, you want to share in terms of your mental zone coming into this weekend? How do you feel? Confidence? What are your expectations?
I mean, my expectation is definitely making day 3 and then not finishing like bottom 4, because that should probably be the amount of points that I need. Like, I have 25, so 30 to 35 should be safe. 35 is probably like guaranteed safe. So yeah, that's gonna be my goal, and I'm feeling pretty confident. So,
all right, Noel, you're in a similar spot, I think, from like GSC point wise in terms of qualifying the finals.
Yeah, like I probably need up 25, maybe 20, I think, to qualify. I'm not really sure, but I definitely have to make day 3. So yeah, I believe I can. I just need some preparation these upcoming days, and I'm gonna watch Alan's stream to know how not to bat for. And
Wait, don't flame my fantasy draft. I have protection against flaming my fantasy team, Alan included, unfortunately. Alan, how are you feeling now? Let's be serious, okay? Please, for the sake of the fantasy draft. How are you feeling about your confidence level? Really good, right? You've been studying with a really probably secret prep group with really good players, and they're telling you all the tech. And surely you're not clear.
But we lost him.
All right. Thank you, Alan, for the very insightful confidence. It seems like you're maybe too confident, but I'm here to calm you down. You'll do well, but maybe not that well. Okay, maybe top 5, Alan. I agree with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On my end, I'm not playing, but I'll be casting it, and really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a really fun GSC. I think it's really been fun doing this Scrimvitational. I think hopefully we'll see increased level just across the board. Everyone just making better plays and picking better lines, and hopefully our region was elevated in the process, and we get to see that in GSC this weekend. And hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. It was great having you guys, Kevin and Noel. Great to see you guys loosen up a bit with the fantasy draft and have some more, hearing different opinions on different players is always really nice, especially with the cross-region kind of stuff. So it'll be the first of many. We'll be back for the preview of regional finals. And if these episodes pop off and if everyone likes them, maybe we'll start doing like the review events or review podcast episodes. So after GSC2, we'll do one next week, for example. We're not in this case right now, but maybe for set 11, we'll follow their kind of schedule and do many more of these in the future. So hope you guys enjoyed, and take care.